Hi and welcome to this Key Learning Initiative video. Today's topic is factorizing. Okay, and what we're doing is an introduction for taking out a highest common factor, or an HCF. Before we get going, please remember to subscribe to my channel, to like and to share this video. Please remember to comment. Any comments are always welcome, and if you need to ask any questions for clarity, also please put them there and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But let's get going with today's topic. So a definition. A highest common factor, or HCF. The highest monomial that will divide into all the given monomials. That is our definition that we're working with. So let's look at some examples and see how we do this. Calculate the HCF of the following terms, and my first example is 9a squared and 12a, and we need to calculate the HCF. So we've got two steps that we follow to do this. My first step is expand each term, and if they're numbers, we expand the numbers into their prime factors. So let's look at our first term, 9a squared. Well, we break 9 into its prime factors, and that's 3 times 3. And then if we expand a squared, it becomes a times a. And so a fully expanded 9a squared is 3 times 3 times a times a. Let's look at our second term, 12a. Now, 12, if we break that into its primes, becomes 2 times 2 times 3, and then just a. And that's step 1. Now, step 2. Pair off all the common factors in the two monomials. As you do this, write down the paired factors. So, my HCF equals, and now we look at our expanded terms, and we match our numbers if we can find them and our letters if we can find them. So let's look at our 9a squared and our 12a. Well, firstly, can you see that there's a prime number of 3 in both your 9a squared and your 12a? So we write down 3. Now we carry on looking. Next, we can see that there's a pair of a's. Because we've chosen them or paired them up, we write down a. Now we look, other than the ones that we've already found, are there any more shared common factors? The answer is no, and therefore our highest common factor for 9a squared and 12a is 3a. Let's look at a second example. 6x squared y cubed and 8x cubed y. Our first step, expand each term. Remember, numbers have to go into their prime factors. Let's look at our first term, 6x squared y cubed. Now, 6, we make it into its primes. 6 is 2 times 3. Then we expand, x squared is just x times x, and y cubed is y times y times y. And we've expanded that fully now. Let's look at our next term, 8x cubed y. We look at our 8. Well, 8 in its prime factors is 2 times 2 times 2. Then it's x times x times x, and lastly times y. And there we have our two terms fully expanded. Step 2. Pair off all the common factors in the two monomials. As you do this, write down the paired factors. So my HCF equals, and now we need to find our pairs. Well, the first one, hopefully you can see, is that set of 2's. So we've paired them off and we write down 2. Now we keep looking. Well, on the top line we've got a 3, and our bottom line we've got 2 2s, so there's nothing we can pair off there. Our number pairing is done. Now we look at our letters or our variables. Notice that we've got a pair of x's there, so we pair them off, we write x. We carry on looking. Well, right next to that pair we've just done, there's another pair of x's, and we write times x as part of our HCF as we pair them off. Then we carry on looking. At the top line we've run out of x's, and we're now looking at our y's. So our last pair that we can find, hopefully you can see, is one set of y's. We pair them off and we write down y. So my HCF is 2x times y. Now in this example we're not finished. We have to simplify 2 times x times y. And if we simplify it, it becomes 2x times x is x squared y. So your HCF for 6x squared y cubed and 8x cubed y is 2x squared y. Let's look at a third example. 10x squared, 5x cubed y, and 15xy. Now we've got 3 numbers, not just 2. So our first step and second step basically are still the same. Step 1, expand each term. Any numbers, make them into prime factors. So 10x squared gives you 2 times 5 times x. Then my 5x cubed y gives you 5 times x times y. Then my last term, 15xy, is 3 times 5 times x times y. And so now I've expanded all 3 of my terms. Let's look. Step 2. Match off all the common factors in the 3 monomials. As you do this, write down the matched factors. So my HCF equals, and now I look, my top one, I've got a 2, but I don't have a 2 in either the 5x cubed or the y or the 15xy. Then I check, okay, I've got a 5, and then in the 5 and a 5, yes, brilliant. I now can match off the 5s, but they have to be in all 3. Okay, a 5 and a 5 and a 5 have to be in all 3 of the terms. So I match it off and I write down 5. Now I carry on looking. There's no other numbers that are in all 3 of my terms. I look at my letters. So I start off with x. Yes, there's an x in the first term, x in the second term, x in the third term. Brilliant. And so I can now match those x's. I match them, I write down x. Now I keep looking. In my top term, I've got an x left over. In my middle term, okay, I've still got an x, but in my bottom term, the 15xy, I don't have any more x's. Likewise, in my 10x squared, I don't have any y's, and so there are no other common factors to group or to match off. That means that my HCF is 5x. So thank you for watching this Key Learning Initiative video on factorizing and this introduction for taking out a highest common factor. I hope it's been helpful. Please remember to like and to share and to join my channel. And your comments, as I've said, are always welcome. Good luck, and I hope this helps.